Quazi here, and in this video, I want to talk to you about a very, very powerful concept that I discovered recently, which is the concept of relative truths versus absolute truths. Before I begin this video, I wanted to quickly announce that I'm doing a free giveaway of my book, Life Mastery. If you want to enroll into a competition to get this book for completely free, just comment Life Mastery down below. And at the end of the week, we're going to be picking one lucky winner to get this book for completely free in the ebook format. Also, I'm excited to announce that the Reality Mastery program is open for enrollment in July. And if you want to sign up for the free one-to-one consult that's still being offered, just wait till the end of the video for the announcement on that. So with that, let's get started with this video. Now, as you can tell by the title, I want to talk about relative and absolute truths. And this is a very, very abstract concept. So I'm going to try my best to break it down and really show you my thinking process behind this and how it can help you every single day to accelerate your manifestation. Now, my whole life, I was really confused while I was starting to learn about the law of attraction and more of these metaphysical concepts. And I understand that some people just don't believe in it and some people do believe in it. But what I didn't understand is that some people would do something and do one thing and they would get a certain result from it. Two people could do the same thing and get completely different results. And that didn't make sense to me. Some things work for some people, some things didn't work for some people. And why is that? Like, why are we going through that? The more and more I studied this, the deeper and deeper I got into it, and the more confused I got. So essentially, what I came to was the conclusion that all truths are really relative, and reality is inherently multifaceted. So one day we believe that electrons are particles, next day we believe that electrons are waves. But now it's both a particle and a wave. What do we know? And in understanding that, we change our models of reality all the time. And whatever you're looking for, you will find. So what is it? What's the absolute truth? In reality, there is no such thing as the absolute truth. There is only one absolute truth, and all other relative truths are compared to this. But even this absolute truth is probably just relative compared to something else. Who knows? So what's true for you may be false for someone else. And what I mean by this is I saw that I was going to the gym 5 days a week and I got no results from it. And I did all of this belief work, identity shifting work, and then changed out my workout routine, changed a lot of things, a lot of variables. And I began a routine next year. And I started going only 3 days a week. And I got more results from it, from just going 3 days a week, than I did going 5 to 6 days a week for a whole year. I got more results from 3 days a week for 6 weeks than I did for the whole year of going 5 days a week. And it just didn't make sense to me. Other people have to go 5 to 6 days a week to get results. Why is that? And what's true for you may be false for someone else. I saw that I could just study for an exam maybe 2 to 3 hours and get good grades in it, while my friends needed to study 5 or 6 hours. And now you might be arguing, they're just not quite as smart as you are, Quazi. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? I used to have to study that much, but it's just that I worked with my beliefs in a certain way, and what I perceived to be true in a certain way broke down those barriers, and as a result of breaking down those barriers, but the first step was in identifying them, breaking down those barriers and redefining what I perceive to be true for myself. And this is a very, very important concept, so make sure you're sticking around till the end of the video for the exercise that I'm going to share with you. So, really, in understanding all of these models of reality, you begin to question which one is true. What is my purpose? And trying to find out your purpose is a futile battle, as asking, why does God exist? Because purpose is a very human concept. We're all trying to find out one model, but maybe there is no one true model. Even the fact that all truths are relative is probably a relative truth. Maybe it's both. Because all of these models come together makes reality. So after really finding out more and more of this stuff, you get into the essence of conditioning. And you understand that some truths are ingrained deeper. And some beliefs are ingrained deeper in some people than in others. And what do I mean by that? The exact example of going to the gym 3 days a week versus 5 to 6 days a week. People have believed, this is just what we've done this whole time. And in order to get unconventional results, you must do unconventional things. When Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile record, the whole world believed that it was only possible to run No, it was impossible to run a 4-minute mile. It's just not in the human capacity. But he redefined the human capacity by running the first 4-minute mile. What do you think happened after he ran the 4-minute mile? Everyone else started to run 4-minute miles. High schoolers started to run 4-minute miles. And now a 4-minute mile isn't even crazy to think about. So he just redefined this whole field, this absolute truth that we thought, by making it loose and doing it. So the mind just needs proof to allow the heart to create something. And that is the essence of this outer intention that we talk about in my previous videos. If you don't know what that is, make sure you click up here to really understand inner intention versus outer intention. It's from a book called Reality Transurfing, which is a very, very powerful model of viewing reality and the events that occur in. Even in that book, the author of the book, Vadim Zeland, says that this is just a model of reality. Transurfing is just one model of reality. As we've lived our lives and as we've experienced certain events happening and certain knowingnesses that we've had, we know for ourselves for some things to be true. One thing may be true for someone else, but doesn't mean it's necessarily true for you, right? So with that in mind, you understand that you can influence whatever it is you want the very essence of why reality creation works is because you can influence your belief systems to align to certain truths and certain facts that you think, but they may not necessarily be true for anyone else. For example, me going to the gym 3 days a week versus my friend having to go to the gym 5 to 6 days a week to get the same results. So all of this really does make you wonder about what the absolute truth is. And the closest that I got to, finding out this model of absolute truth and the scales of truth was from a book called Power versus Force by David R. Hawkins, where he talks about the different scales of truth. So if you check him out, you'll see that there's a scale and a model of truth. And the lowest level is apathy and despair. The highest level is enlightenment or ultimate enlightenment, if you will. And God corresponds to the ultimate truth, or, the following statement. Consciousness is the irreducible stratum of all that exists, corresponds to the level of 1,000, which means that it is the ultimate truth before infinity, which is supposed to be God and the thing that created the universe, or the universe itself. Creation and the creator are one and the same reality. That also corresponds to the level of 1,000. And now all of those truths are defined relatively to that. If you think about how you perceive something even right now, there's always a comparison to something else. Every single truth that you have is relative to some other higher truth that preceded it. So if you feel cold, you say, that's cold, but it's cold relative to something else. It's cold compared to something else. You say the food is tasty. It's tasty compared to something else. If you redefine your definition of tasty, then you enter a paradigm shift. And that's exactly what Roger Bannister did after he ran the 4-minute mile. So now really all of this video is aligned to that belief level in how you can influence your beliefs. And the most powerful way to influence your beliefs, and I'm going to share with you an exercise right now, is to really observe what you perceive every single day and what you think is true. Because if you really think about it, nothing is the ultimate absolute truth. They're all relative. There is supposedly one absolute truth right now that all other truths are defined from. But I'm sure this is getting redefined more and more every single day. In really understanding that, you might even think, Quazi, you know what's true? You need to eat food and you need water to survive. But even maybe that's not true. Maybe that's just ingrained at a deeper level because of our biology, this biological programming, this memory of years and years, evolution, etc., etc. That also created this truth and propagated it through the very DNA and chromosomes that we have. So who really knows? Maybe we are able to overcome that as well, not need food to survive, and just be beings requiring no consumption of any fuel. So really, what I ask you to do is every single day, observe what it is you perceive to be true and see if you can redefine it in a way that it benefits you getting towards your goals. This is the single most powerful way to influence your beliefs so that you can create reality from within. Because as we know, as within, so without. If you start to create reality from within and don't depend on external circumstances for creation, but rather confirmation, always remember that anything that's happening, you're looking around it and scanning for confirmation of your confirmed being that you've chosen to become from within. As within, so without. Always remember that. And if you start to observe more and more of what you believe to be true and start to redefine it by choosing rather what you believe to be true, and especially things that benefit you rather than things that don't benefit you. Let's say, oh, I can be successful in this venture that I'm going to start. I choose to believe that, so I'm going to look for proof that this success is coming, right? Instead of, oh no, it's not going to happen because no one has ever done it. But just because no one has ever done it doesn't mean you can't be like Roger Bannister and be the first person to do that 4-minute mile, right? So really be careful about what you believe in and also be observant. The very first step to overcoming any sort of conditioning is to observe that it's happening in the first place. More than half the work is done in identifying the problem, and the rest is just in finding out steps to do it. So identification is the most powerful step. Observing, being conscious of it, is literally the ultimate key. So make sure that every single day you are analyzing your reality and observing whatever you believe to be true, what's going on up here. That's why meditation really works, because it helps you get a step back from yourself. It creates this distance between you and yourself and establishes that which controls this vehicle and that which is the vehicle. So with that, I conclude this video, and I sincerely hope this helped. I know this was very different and it was a more esoteric style video, but I hope this made sense. So leave me a comment if it didn't. I would love to answer any questions that you have and help out in the best way that I can. Also, I'm super excited to announce that I'm growing a massive Facebook group where I'll be sharing all of this kind of stuff and much more. So make sure you take advantage of that and join this great group of great members by clicking on the link in the description below. And I hope I see you there. Also, the Reality Mastery Program is open for enrollment. If you didn't know what the Reality Mastery Program was, it's essentially the most powerful paradigm of manifestation. What I found in my personal life was that whenever I shifted into the version of myself that can get this, that has this, I got it. When I shifted into the attractive version of myself, I got my dream partner. When I shifted into the socially confident person of myself, I started attracting the social circle that I wanted. I was memorable amongst people and I was confident and I exuded confidence. When I shifted into the fit version of myself, I got my dream body. When I shifted into the entrepreneur version of myself, I was able to quit my 9-to-5, take my passion full time. I know that this is possible for you as well because I'm helping my clients do this and redefine what's possible for them every single day. So let me help you out, and also make sure you take advantage of this free one-to-one consult that I'm offering right now for the program by clicking on the link in the description below. And I hope I see you there. Till next time, peace.